WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Gregory and Appel Insurance, dedicated to helping people and businesses navigate the complexities of risk management, employee benefits, and private client insurance. More at gregoryappel.com.
We're going to take a trip right now. Like we always do about this time.
This is a journey into sound. Break it down.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. Uncle Funkenstein, Zerfas, the Hamilton Movement. Those names may be unfamiliar to most Hoosier music fans, but record collectors around the world pay thousands of dollars for these rare Indiana discs. This week on Cultural Manifesto, we'll explore music from the top 10 most valuable Indiana LPs and 45 RPM singles of all time. I'll be focusing on locally released, commercially distributed recordings from Indiana musicians. This list was compiled using publicly available information from online shopping sites, including eBay and Discogs. This is not a definitive list. If you know of any recordings I missed, please hit me up on all social media platforms at DJ Kyle Long. We'll start our top 10 countdown with the Spaniels, a Gary, Indiana R&B group best known for their 1954 doo-wop hit, Goodnight, Sweetheart. We'll listen to the Spaniels' 1953 single, Baby It's You. In 2017, a copy of the single, pressed on red wax, sold for $3,000. Baby It's You was released by Gary, Indiana's VJ Records. The label was co-founded by Vivian Carter and Jimmy Bracken in 1953. VJ would eventually become one of the largest independent record companies in the United States. And prior to Motown, it was the most successful black-owned label in the history of American music. But in 1953, the VJ label was operating out of a modest storefront in Gary, Indiana. This is the Spaniels with Baby It's You.
Baby, when you kiss me, baby, oh, you make me feel so good. Baby, well, I know I love you, baby, baby, 'cause I should. Baby, well, come back, baby, and let your daddy know you would.
That was Gary, Indiana's Spaniels with Baby It's You, number 10 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. Up next, we'll hear music from the legendary Indianapolis psychedelic rock band Anonymous. In 1976, the band independently released a full-length album titled Inside the Shadow. Over the years, that album has become a cult favorite among psychedelic music fans around the world. In 2022, an original pressing of Inside the Shadow sold for $3,000 on eBay. Anonymous was formed by ex-members of the Indianapolis garage rock band Sir Winston and the Commons. During a 2015 interview, Anonymous songwriter, guitarist, and vocalist Ron Metellic told me that the band was born out of a weekly jam session.
On Sunday afternoons, we used to have these jam sessions at my house where we'd just come over and just play, essentially, and came up with a lot of the stuff that ends up being on the Anonymous album, instrumentally. And that's how that Anonymous essentially got started. Anonymous never really performed anywhere, and probably never would have.
I asked Ron when he learned that the Anonymous LP had become a collector's item among psychedelic music fans.
Hey, we'd sell them to friends or give them away, and until I got a call from these brothers in Illinois, and they said, "Hey, we heard your album. We'd like to buy some." I said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I can sell you a couple boxes."
By the 1990s, this record had started to sell for in excess of $1,000. And
Yeah,
I mean, you had boxes of these. How does that feel?
That's insane. Well, you know, I always say this, had I never sold those records like that, they would probably never been distributed like they were, because, you know, I couldn't distribute them.
Sure.
And it was funny. I'd get a call from somebody in Florida. You know, do I have any? Yeah. Get a call from California, Texas. I says, well, and somehow all these people knew each other.
Okay.
So what amazed me was the network that the collectors had. That they all know each other, and word of mouth, I guess. Then I got a letter from a person in Europe, Sweden, and he was interested. So I sold him, and then. It was just crazy after that.
This is Anonymous with Who's Been Foolin'.
Who's been fooling? Running around in the same old fashion, making a play in the same old fashion, calling it a game.
That was Anonymous with Who's Been Foolin', number 9 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. Up next, we'll listen to the Richmond, Indiana R&B band, the Vondells. In 2005, their late 1960s single, Hey Girl, You've Changed, sold for $3,055. I recently spoke with the band's guitarist, T.J. Jones. Today, T.J. lives in Bloomington, Indiana. Over the years, he's played with many legendary Indiana bands, including Ebony Rhythm Funk Campaign and the Screaming Gypsy Bandits. Let's listen to an excerpt of my conversation with T.J.
I got into this group called the Vondells, and we managed to actually get a 45 out. And in that band, that was strictly an R&B band. And we went into the studio to make the record, and we didn't have a bass player. Next thing I know, somebody's handed me a bass and said, here, overdub the bass. And consequently, the bass has been my second instrument ever since.
What year was the record recorded? Hey Girl, You've Changed, Soldier Boy?
Yeah, about the same year that I started in the band. 68, 69, right around that era.
As far as you knew, I think this record had faded away into obscurity. But over the years, it was discovered in this club scene in England called Northern Soul. And this has become one of the most sought-after Northern Soul records. I don't know if you know this, but it's been bootlegged on dozens of compilations.
I was shocked. I was shocked.
Yeah.
We're talking about a record that's over 50 years old. And all of a sudden, it's an underground hit that nobody was aware of.
How did that strike you when you found that out?
I was stunned. I had no idea. You know, I just one day put the record up on Facebook and said, yeah, this is something I did when I was a kid. Next thing I knew, I had people from England sending me messages on Facebook saying, hey, this record is in demand. And I had no idea, no clue. There's actually a video online. I found a video. I think it was filmed like in the 80s. And this record came on, and people ran to the dance floor to dance to it. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. This is the Vondells with Hey Girl, You've Changed.
You wear a bell-bottom pants, every time I see you, you girl, you look the best, in your mini dress. I said, hey girl, my head changed. Now when you were my girl, you didn't look the same. Maybe that's because you love me. because you love me.
That was the Vondells with Hey Girl, You've Changed, number 8 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. Up next, we'll listen to music from an obscure Gary, Indiana garage band called the Aztecs. Their 1967 single, I Said Move, sold for $3,383 in a 2016 eBay auction. I Said Move was produced and released by the Gary, Indiana music legend, Bud Pressner. This is the Aztecs with I Said Move.
I said move. I said move. I said move now. When I see you walking down the street, you're the one that I want you to meet. Come on, baby, like I love you so. Ow! I said move. I said move. I said move now.
That was the Aztecs with I Said Move, number 7 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. Up next, we'll hear music from the beloved Indianapolis punk band The Zero Boys. Their 1980 single, Livin' in the 80s, sold for $3,350 in 2022. I recently spoke with Zero Boys drummer Mark Cutzinger. Mark also performs with the Indianapolis rockabilly legend Art Adams. I caught up with Mark after a gig with the Art Adams Band, and he told me that Livin' in the 80s was partially inspired by rockabilly music.
Our song, Zero Boys' song Livin' in the 80s is sort of a rockabilly vibe sort of song. So I've been interested in rockabilly for like forever, since I was a kid. And so punk and rockabilly is kind of the same.
The music of the Zero Boys is celebrated by punk rock fans around the world. But that's not always the case here in their hometown. I asked Mark if that disparity bothered him.
It's okay. It's really okay. Because, you know, a lot of times here people don't... Some people will go, oh, Zero Boys, who's that? Or, you know, and they don't know. You go out of town and everybody knows who Zero Boys are. Metallica played here and played some Zero Boys songs. And I'd say out of 90,000 people, maybe 20%, 10% knew what they were doing. The rest of them were going, what? You know, so.
This is the Zero Boys with Livin' in the 80s. That was the Zero Boys with Livin' in the 80s, number 6 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. Number 5 on our list is the Beech Grove, Indiana psychedelic rock band Zerfas. Their self-titled 1973 album sold for $3,333 in 2014. The Zerfas album was produced and released by New Palestine, Indiana's Mo Whittemore. During the 1970s, Mo operated the 700 West record label and recording studio out of his family's home in New Palestine. I spoke with Mo in 2015, and we discussed his work with Zerfas. How did you get connected with them? How did they hear about your studio?
Well, they saw the ad and called me up and got stuff going.
Yeah, when you heard their music, when they came to demo their songs to you, did you right away sense that this was important music or that it was going to be a special project?
Certain tunes. The thing that got me about them is they're willing to mess around and come up with really crazy ideas.
What was the general sense between you and the band after it was done? Did you feel like you'd created this project that was going to, 30, 40 years later still grab people's interest?
Well,
or it was just a record?
We knew it was different.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was different, but I couldn't foresee it being, that popular that far down the road.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
The Zerfas album is one of many collectible recordings Mo produced at 700 West. I asked Mo about the ongoing interest in the recordings he produced. All these records you produced that, I don't know, maybe you thought they were flops and just forgot about them, I don't know, but this massive interest around the world starts developing in these recordings you made. And I'm curious how it felt learning about that and seeing these things that maybe some people considered worthless now selling for $2,000, $3,000. How did you become aware of this and how does it feel?
Oh, I used to get phone calls from Switzerland or whatever, and being online, you stumble across stuff like that too. And but no, I never dreamed that would have the underground following that it did.
Yeah.
And quite humbling that it's got such a following worldwide.
This is Zerfas with The Piper.
The autumn leaves that drift forgotten touch upon my swollen soul like fleeting shadows. They take my pride away. The piper may teach you well.
Cultural Manifesto will return after this short break.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. This week, we're exploring music from the top 10 most valuable Indiana LPs and 45 RPM singles of all time. We're focusing on locally released, commercially distributed recordings from Indiana musicians. And the list was compiled using publicly available information from online shopping sites, including eBay and Discogs. Number 4 on our list is from the Indianapolis soul group, The Vanguards. The Vanguards are best known for their 1969 hit, Somebody Please, issued by the Indianapolis label Lamp Records. The group's 1971 single for Lamp, Good Times, Bad Times, sold for $3,333 in a 2022 eBay auction. I spoke with the Vanguard's lead vocalist, James Davis, in 2017, and we discussed that song. Another big Vanguards record, it's another up-tempo track, is Good Times, Bad Times.
Right. And that one has some nice clean horns on it. Yeah. But that was a great record.
Yeah.
And that was done at the studio in Bloomington.
It was, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think when you hear that record today?
I don't. Right. All I know, it was a nice, clean record.
Sure. Are you aware of the interest in that record and how in demand it is around the world? I'm really not, because that was one of those that kind of laid on the shelf. That record sells for up to $2,000, original copies of Good Times, Bad Times.
Really?
That's the big one that people are really paying the top dollar for when it comes to the Lamp Records or Vanguards tracks. Yeah.
Well, that's news to me.
Yeah, so if you have a copy of that,
right,
take care of it. Yeah.
Oh, I sure will.
This is the Vanguards with Good Times, Bad Times.
What does it matter? matter if we have a fight, because we both know that love will make it turn out right. Good time, we've had all trouble, heartaches, big and small.
That was the Vanguards with Good Times, Bad Times, number 4 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. Number 3 on our list comes from the Indianapolis jazz saxophonist and composer Russell Webster. In 1983, Russell self-released a double album set titled Uncle Funkenstein. The album featured an all-star group of legendary Indianapolis jazz musicians, including James Spaulding, Larry Ridley, and Mel Ryan. In 2011, the Uncle Funkenstein album sold for $4,060 on eBay. I recently spoke with Russell's widow, Lexi Webster, and daughter, Benita Webster, and we discussed the Uncle Funkenstein album. Making this record was time-consuming. It was a major expense. What drove him to do it, and what did you all think of the final product?
Well, I thought it was a very good venue, a product. I was concerned because he tried to do it all himself without any help from
anybody, financially or anything. Nobody put a dime in on it.
I don't know why he was like that, but I think he thought if he reached out for help, they would take part of the credit or something, and he didn't want that.
Sure, yeah.
So I think that's the reason why.
I want to ask you about the audience that's formed around this music over the decades. Bonnie, you mentioned that Russell had trouble getting this played on local radio, and I know there was some newspaper articles that came out locally when he put the album together, but it didn't go very far in the first couple years.
Right.
But over time, this record developed an international audience. It's called the Holy Grail of Jazz. As you mentioned, a copy sold on eBay, I think, for over $4,000. And there's a copy for sale now on a record website sealed for $8,000. It hasn't sold yet, but someone's
I saw that. I was looking
$8,000
at,
for it. Yeah. What do you guys make of all this?
Well, he said he wouldn't get famous until he died anyway.
I know how it is when musicians press up their own records. They have boxes of them cluttering up the house. How do you feel now, looking back? These records are worth a fortune now.
Well,
what do you make of that?
I don't have any of them.
Yeah. What impression does that leave on you?
Well, I just wish that he had made more.
Yeah, made more albums.
What do you think he would make of the ongoing interest in this project?
Well,
he'd probably say, "See, I told you."
This is Russell Webster with Uncle Funkenstein. That was Russell Webster with Uncle Funkenstein, number 3 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. The second most valuable record on our list is an obscure single by Los Latinos, one of the first Mexican-American bands to gain prominence in Indianapolis. Sometime in the late 1960s or early 70s, the band self-released a Latin soul single titled Baby Don't Go. That record sold for $4,091 in a 2022 eBay auction. I spoke with Los Latinos drummer Rick Espinosa in 2020. Rick told me he was around 12 years old when he started performing with Los Latinos.
These guys said, we need a drummer, and you got the drums, you know. And so we started rehearsing at my house, and we started playing the music, the accordion. And I was familiar with the music, so, you know, it came me real easy, you know. So that's how I became the drummer. And we played for almost 9 years. Everywhere we played music, people loved it. I mean, there was not one person, I don't ever remember anybody ever saying, I don't like that music. Nobody ever said that. Everybody enjoyed the music. Black people heard it, they loved it, they danced to it, it was like something new to them, and it was really cool, and it was just good dancing music. American white Anglo people heard it, and they loved it, you know. So it was a new experience for a lot of people, and just to hear it and to dance to it. So, yeah, they loved it.
This is Los Latinos with Baby Don't Go. That was Los Latinos with Baby Don't Go, number 2 on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and singles of all time. The number 1 most valuable Indiana recording on our list comes from the Indianapolis-based funk band, the Hamilton Movement. Their 1976 single, She's Gone, is arguably the most highly sought-after Indiana record ever released. That single has been bootlegged numerous times, and original copies routinely sell in excess of $5,000. In 2021, a copy sold for $7,314 on eBay. In 2019, I spoke with several members of the Hamilton Movement and the band's manager, Dick Melvin, who released the group's music on his Indianapolis label, Lookout Records. Dick told me he co-wrote the lyrics to She's Gone.
The song that they bootlegged in the UK, we were in Columbus, Georgia, because we'd leave and go down south and stay sometimes a week. We can have 2 weeks at a time. And we were at the motel and just playing around, and me, Rick, and King, it's really ironic that that's the original writing right there from 1976.
Wow. You mind if I take a picture of this?
If you want to.
Okay. That's amazing. Who wrote the lyrics?
I'm the one that penned them, and we were just coming up together with the lyrics. But that's my terrible handwriting there.
So who was the vocalist we hear on like She's Gone and all those great records? Was that Marvin Coleman?
No, it's King Solomon.
Oh, really?
That's not from here now.
Not the one from King James?
No.
Yeah.
See, we need to correct that.
Yeah, okay.
His name was Solomon Prather.
Okay.
But we all call him King, so we just call him King Solomon.
Gotcha.
Not the King James Version.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
This is the Hamilton Movement with She's Gone. That was the Hamilton Movement with She's Gone, the number 1 recording on our list of the most valuable Indiana LPs and 45 RPM singles of all time. You can hear my full interviews with the musicians featured on this program on the Cultural Manifesto podcast, available at WFYI.org or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Cultural Manifesto is hosted and produced by me, Kyle Long. Thank you for listening.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.